everybody, this is Ali. Welcome back to my channel, Color Mama 360. It's time for another video. So good morning, good night, good middle of the night, depending on when you're watching. It is time for one of the favorite videos of the month. It's my March completed pages video. Again, every month, I don't know where the time is going, but let's jump into it and look at some stats. So, a little bit different stats than last month, which is so surprising to me because February is a short month, as we always talk about. But I did do 18 pages this month in 14 different books. One of those that I'm counting as a book was just a single PDF. It's not a PDF that's part of a book. And 4 of those books were uncolored. I also had one buddy color that I carried over from last month, and I did 2 prompts and challenges, one of which was my own prompt. I did a couple pages for Monster March, and then I did a page for March of the Dragons, hosted by Zuvera Art. So, oh, and I also made 8 YouTube videos, which was a little bit lower than last month too, which is so crazy to me. I did extra last month, and I did one less than I normally do this month. So those numbers look a little crazy when you think about the fact that February was short. So that is what I got up to this month. If you're new to the channel or you didn't check in with me last month, I did talk about how I want to do a little bit more of a reflection on how I did with my plans. I did a little bit better than I originally thought. So I got the majority of the pages I had planned done, especially in my project books. And then the only books that I didn't really get to was I didn't get to a 3rd page in Capybara Cuties. I didn't get to the Half Moon Party Monster page, which was this one. I had marked this one for doing in Monster March. I didn't quite get to that one. I did get to another book that ended up arriving this month that I really wanted to color in too. And I didn't get that page done, but I am going to still be working on it, even though it's a monster page. So you will see that in my April completed pages video. But anyways, I didn't get to a 3rd Capybara Cuties page. I didn't get to that Half Moon page. I didn't get to the Seasons Book Belongs To page, but if you watched my April plans, I talked about how I will be coloring that page for April. And then I didn't get to these 2 whips. I did work on the Wild Summer Whip a teeny tiny little bit, but I didn't get it done. And I did not work on the Tales from the Forest Kingdom whip at all. Both of those I talked about in my April plans video as well, if you want to go check that out. And I'm hoping to get back to those. So overall, I did okay with my plans. I'm liking this format of kind of checking in on video with you guys about how the plans went for the month, because it does help kind of reassure me that my plans do align with what I'm completing and what I seem to want to complete. So if you want to know what I'm getting up to for April, go and check that video out. Otherwise, let's get started on looking at some completed pages. So starting with project books, first up on my pile, I have my group project book, Capybara Cuties. So this is a group project book with a bunch of different people. I will put their names up on the screen so that I hopefully don't miss anybody. And the pages we did this month are this flower page. This was a nice one to welcome in spring. I actually did this in just, no, I did do a tiny little bit of pencil on some of the flowers, but I was going to do more pencil than I did. It's mostly Ohuhu alcohol markers. So just Ohuhus on the capybaras, just Ohuhus on some of the flowers, like these multicolored ones that you see, the white, the light purple, the dark purple. That's just alcohol marker. Some of the pink ones I did go over with pencil, and some of the yellow ones, actually it looks like some of the yellow ones I didn't go over with pencil. And then the green leaves I did some pencil on too. So originally I was going to go over all of them with pencil, but then I kind of just liked the way that they look. I wish I would have done more like this with the other colors. I mean, I tried to, but then I also kind of went over them with pencil. I wish I would have just left them because I really like the way that this turned out. So that's my first page from Capybara Cuties. This book is by Rob Parkinson, if I didn't say that. And then the second page we did this month was this one with the little costumes. And this one was all alcohol markers too. I just didn't really feel like doing a ton of pencil in these books this month. And this one I didn't do any pencil over the top at all. It's all alcohol marker. And I like the way that this one turned out. I think I don't have a super red alcohol marker, so that's why my strawberries are a little bit on the pinker side. Looking on camera, they actually look darker than they do in person, but that's the only thing I wish I had more of. Also, I wish I would have come in and done highlights on the grapes, which I could still come do. So I may do that if I remember. But overall, I like it. And it was a fun page to just kind of relax and do some alcohol marker work with. Let me get a drink real fast. So those are the 2 pages that I completed from Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. I will go ahead and show you everybody else's pages from the group. Everybody else did a fantastic job. Okay. Moving on to a project book for my channel. It's tiiiimeeee, the Coloring Heaven collection with designs by Pop. And I'm continuing on with the shelf pages, and I did March. Now, I had a really hard time getting started on this page, but I absolutely love the way that it turned out. Something about the color palette that I ended up on with this page just really works and was what I was envisioning for the page. So I based with Ohuhu alcohol markers for some of the elements, and for some of the other elements, I used the Staedtler pigment pens. And then I went over the top with Prismacolors. So yeah, I really, really like the way that this turned out. I don't know why, but I haven't had very good luck lately coloring birds the way that I want. And I really like the way that these birds turned out. I think because sometimes I select a color palette and then I feel like birds need to somehow fit into that color palette, and it just worked for this page. So yeah, this was a really, once I got going and it started coming together, it was a really fun page. I really struggled with starting it. I'm not entirely sure why. I just did for some reason. Looking at, I do think I want to go back in and add some little white dots in the middle of these kinds of flowers. Looks like maybe I forgot to do that. I was planning on doing that, but overall, I really like the way that it turned out, and I'm super happy with this page, and it was really fun. I think April isn't going to be similar, but it's going to be kind of these. I think the way that I've started basing it, it's going to be kind of bright pastel colors. So I'm glad that this one kind of turned out different than that, so that they aren't too similar. I don't even know if that made sense what I just said, but anyway, that is my March shelf page from tiiiimeeee by Pop. Next is another project book on my channel. It's Summer Nights by Hannah Carlzon. And I did kind of take a little bit of an easy way out with this one this month, which I'm glad that I did because I got less pages done than I have been this month, but they were also easier pages, which makes me a little nervous. So the page I did this month is this bug page. I'm not sure what kind of bug it's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of bug it's supposed to be, but I decided to do it red and black. Now, I needed the colors that were darker because I had some color on the page from testing mediums for a different video. And they were just like random colors I had laying around, so I needed to be able to cover those up. So yeah, red and black seemed to do the trick for that. And then I used the Jelly Roll glaze on the wings which I've heard people talk about that a lot and how it's discontinued and you can't get a hold of it anymore, and how it's so awesome and great, but I never really used it. But boy, yeah, it really makes a difference on things like the wings. I don't know if you can really see it well on camera, but definitely something I would use again, specifically for like wings or translucent type objects. Um, it's too bad that that is discontinued. I just have the one that came in my large set of Jelly Roll pens. So once that one is gone, it is gone. That is my page from Summer Nights by Hannah Carlzon. Next is what I keep calling an unofficial project book on the channel, but it's basically an official project book at this point. I've done a page in here every month. It's Wondrous Folk by Christine Caron, and this month I did Jewel Thief. And I do like the way that this one ended up turning out. However, I had a certain vision for it, and I talked a little bit about it in my March plans. And I didn't quite achieve what I was going for, but I'm still happy with the result, if that makes any sense. So I knew I wanted this emerald green color. I wasn't sure if I wanted to flip flop all of this, so do like this part emerald green and then this black, 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 and an emerald green mask. I also don't think that the green that I achieved was quite what I was going for. I think I was going for a little bit more of like how I did the jewel. But in the end, it works. I really like the way that she turned out. I also debated going with brown or black hair. Looking at it now, I'm glad that I went with brown, but I do remember when I finished it, I had kind of wished I'd gone for black hair instead. But looking at it now, I do like the black hair. So overall, like I said, I enjoy the way that this page turned out. And again, I do feel like I'm getting better and better at skin. I think I finally found a combination for lighter skin that really fits the look that I'm going for. And so that's something that I used, I think, for the second time on this page. And again, I really enjoy the way that that's turning out. And I do have pretty much my last 3 pages in this book picked out. Not my last 3 pages ever, but my last 3 pages. Well, it's a project book on the channel. I think actually in no way sick of this book, but I think I will probably swap it out, even if it's just with another Christine Caron book, just to fill up the other two. So, may still have a portrait every month after June, but I'm thinking I might do it in either Little Folk or Wildflower Folk for the second half of the year. So that's Wondrous Folk by Christine Caron. Next is from my books to finish, and I can't remember if I showed this to you guys last month. I originally didn't have it written down in my journal for some reason, but this was the page I had planned, so I wonder if I just finished it early, like after I filmed my completed pages video last month, but I, I don't know. If I've already shown it to you, I'm showing it to you again because I didn't do another page in that book. And I had this one listed as February's, or sorry, as March's, but I think I may have maybe finished it in February. So this is my page from the Princess Kawaii Mega Patch by Kevin Teo Art. I'm trying to finish this by the end of the year. Need to, I think I say this every month, but need to ramp up the number of pages I'm doing. I believe there's 14 pages total, and I have only done one a month. So I need to do 2 in a couple of months this year if I want to get it done by December. So that is my page from the Princess Kawaii Mega Pact by Kevin Teo Art. Slide that back into its little thing here. Next is another book I'm trying to finish this year, and this one I did feel a little bit more, a little bit happier with my progress because I did get 2 pages done on this book this month. So I did this page, the Bobbing for Cherries, based with the Hoo Hoo alcohol marker, Prismacolor pencil over the top, some white signal on the spider webs. And then I also did this page. Again, Ohuhu alcohol marker, Prismacolor over the top. And what worked well and is a lot of the colors were the same, you know. So I would like do the hat and the costume, and then come do the hat and the costume, and then do, you know, I guess those are kind of the only things that, besides just the worm and the mouse, I do the acrylic marker, do the, so I kind of flipped back and forth and did these somewhat at the same time. Obviously there's some reds and greens on this page that aren't on this page, so took that into account. But yeah, I kind of flipped back and forth, and that worked out good, and that got me, I mean, maybe not ahead, but at least a little bit more in line to get this book finished. I'd like to get this one finished by the beginning of October to read it to my kids this year for that season. So good progress in Matchstick Mouse. I'd like to keep that up and at least be getting 2 pages done the next couple months as well. And that's by Morgan O'Brien, if I didn't say that. Next is Daydreams, and this is the only buddy color that I had this month because I am taking a little bit of a break from buddy colors, but I had this one planned with my friend Steph over at Steph Colors, and we did this one. So my border is a little off. It bothers me every time I've opened this page, but I taped it off with washi tape. And then the foreground is all Prismacolor pencils. I don't think I based anything. And then the background is Albert Durr's Activated with Water. So lots of white Signo, as you can see, for the white flowers. I absolutely love the way that this one came out. This is probably one of my favorite pages that I completed this month. And while I was completing this one, I also did the little bug down here in the corner. And I came over and just did this mushroom on the title page. So I counted this as a separate page. I didn't count the bug, but I did count this as a separate page. But yeah, I love the color palette that I did. I was inspired by a buddy that I had last month for a different page who did kind of this white flower and blues sort of color palette. And so I brought that over to this page. And yeah, this is probably one of my favorite pages, if not my favorite page that I completed this month. I love the way that it turned out, and I think that it looks really good. And those are my first couple pages in Daydreams by Hannah Carlson. Okay, next I have another PDF, and this one I did for March of the Dragons. This is a PDF that I printed out by Julia Speary. So it's just a single PDF that I bought from her Etsy. And I didn't originally have this in my plans, but I kept seeing everyone's cool dragon pages, and I really wanted to participate if I could make the time. And so when I started thinking about it, I knew that I had this page in my PDF collection and that this was definitely the page I wanted to color. So I originally actually didn't base anything. I had another version of this page where I recently got new pencils, which you'll see in my spring haul soon. And I started using those pencils and just went straight in to the hair. And it wasn't taking so long. It was not, it was, yeah. I mean, it was just taking so long. I was getting so sick of it. And she originally had brown hair. But then I decided to start over. And since it's a PDF, I just reprinted it. I based everything with Ohuhus, which was a much better option. And then I went over the top with polychromos, and the skin, I think the skin I did use the polychromos too. When I look at it now, and this shows in the picture that I posted on Instagram too, a lot of the gray is coming through, the grayscale, which is weird because it didn't look like that originally. And so I don't know if it's just because the alcohol marker that I used dried a lot lighter than maybe I originally thought, but it kind of just looks like I didn't do a very good job covering up the actual grayscale, like coloring it in completely. So I don't know, that's been bothering me a little bit. I thought it was just maybe the lighting in the picture that I had posted, but looking at it now, I can kind of see that here too. So it's probably just because the alcohol marker I based with dried so light, because I did base the whole thing pretty thoroughly too. But anyways, besides the point. And then I used lots of I just based the dragon. I didn't go over the top of him with pencil, but I did go over a lot of him with jelly roll. So that's, you can kind of see sort of sparkly looking stuff. That's all jelly roll. And then this I did do a little bit of pencil and then jelly roll on her clothes and on her little hair tie here. And then I believe there's also a bit of jelly roll if the camera will catch it in her eye. Give it a little bit of a sparkle. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm happy with the way that it turned out. It is bothering me that it looks like a little unfinished. But I guess if I really wanted to, I could come in and try to fix that. Just looking at it again. Yeah, it is that the alcohol marker dried very lightly. So that is my page for March of the Dragons, and that was a PDF by Julia Sperry. Next, I had a whip in Luna by Maria Trolle that I finished. And it's this one. I'm not super happy with this page. I think that it went wrong with the colors, and that's what bothers me about it. I wanted to do something fun for the background, so I did the background a long time ago, and then when I came in and started doing the trees, that's when things kind of got wonky, and that's actually when I stopped the page too. I think what would have been really cool and maybe would have been better for this page is gray trees. I think that that would have looked a lot more cohesive and not so contrasting with the dark brown and then these blues and purples and pinks. I think it would have brought all of the other colors together a little bit more. So this was all Prismacolor pencils. Nothing was based. And then on the border is Ohuhu alcohol marker, or no, not Ohuhu, well, Ohuhu glitter marker. So you can see it does leave a little bit of shadowing, which I think is fine actually for this page. But it doesn't go through all the way. It just leaves some shadowing. So, but I am glad to at least have it done because it was a whip for a long time. Hoping that it doesn't deter me from getting back to this book. So that's Luna by Maria Trolle. Next, I have Owl Adorable by Teresa Goodridge. Luna was an uncolored book, and this is also an uncolored. This was an uncolored book. So I got this owl page done, and if you would like a better look at this book, I do my own little review on it, I believe, up on the channel. But yeah, I like the way that this page turned out. So, this is Ohuhu alcohol marker. I have to think about it for a second. Polychromos over the top, and this is the first page that I used the polychromos on. And I think that they worked okay, but now having used them on a Johanna Basford page, I can tell the difference that people are talking about with the paper. And I tried to do the owls like the cover, so mine are a little bit darker because I added in kind of a darker brown, but I really like the way the owls turned out. And then the background is acrylic marker. So I wanted to try to give it kind of this like uh magical forest vibe. So I tried to make the mushrooms kind of look like they were glowing. Some like more brighter type grass, the white flowers. I think that my white flowers in the Hannah Carlson book, and Daydreams turned out a lot better than these ones. I just like the way that those ones turned out in that one more. Didn't really do anything differently either. I think it could just be the style of flower too. But yeah, overall, I really like the way that this page turned out. And I'm glad that I was able to get one done in here. That's Owl Adorable by Teresa Goodrich. Next was another whip that I had from Lulu's House of Wonder. And I did this page. This is another page I really like the way that it turned out. I think going for these more limited color palettes is working well for me. It seems that I enjoy not only the process more, but the final result more when I do kind of find those limited color palettes. This one was like kind of unique for this page, I think, in a way, but I was really inspired by this first dress and the lemons. And then I kind of just took the colors that I wanted to do for that and ran with it for the whole page. And I really love the way that it turned out. The only thing I would do differently is not use this pastel yellow gel pen on some of the stuff, but luckily I kept it minimal that it's not too distracting or detracting. But yeah, I based everything with Ohuhus again, and then went over the top with Prismacolor pencils. So really love the way that that one turned out. Would love to do another page in this book soon. Yeah, enjoying that. So that's Lulu's House of Wonder by Lulu Mayo. Next is Leon's Journey, and I got my first page done in here, and I just came in and did the character pages. Now, these didn't turn out the way that I wanted, which is hard because I wanted to be cohesive throughout the book, and I think I still can, but I'd like to kind of improve the way that I did things. So I based everything with the Statler pigment pens. Kind of on the fence on if I would do that again. I don't think that it's necessarily those that made the page not turn out the way that I wanted it to, but at the same time, I don't know that I would do that again. Then I came in and tried to do the fur on Leon with Albert Durr watercolor pencils. Actually just dipping the pencil tip straight into water. That didn't really work well for the effect that I was going for. So then I came back in with, I believe, either Polychromos or Prismacolors. And actually, I think I went over the top of the base first with the Polychromos and then tried to do the Albert Durrs for the fur. And then I came back in with a brown Prismacolor to kind of try to fix the fur. Again, didn't really go the way that I wanted to. The red flowers are Polychromos, and I wasn't liking them on this paper. And then I was in Jess coloring Bumblebee Stream, and she did say that sometimes they don't work very well on this paper. So I probably won't use those again now that I've seen the difference between like using them in a Johanna Basford book and using them in this book. I can definitely tell the difference, and I prefer Prismacolors in this book, I think. So yeah, finding these colors for Prismacolors shouldn't be too difficult. I think I can keep the cohesiveness by just doing the same colors. And I did go back and forth on what color cat I wanted to make Leon. I was originally thinking either a black cat like my cat or this orange tabby cat, which I think is, if I remember right, I saw somebody say that it's based after Kanoko's cat and that she has an orange tabby cat. Can't remember for sure. But anyways, those are my two choices. So I will continue probably with the orange throughout. And then I didn't know what to do for Lily. I considered doing her a tuxedo like my other cat, so then they would be matching. But then when I chose to do Leon orange, I didn't feel like that would work very well. So I looked up some different pictures of cats, and I kind of liked this creamy gray and white cat. But again, I don't think my execution here really demonstrates the way that I want it. So we'll see how I improve throughout the book, but I want to keep the same idea. So an orange tabby cat, a kind of calico type cat. And then I'm okay with, not okay. I'm happier with the way that Latte and Mocha turned out. Again, based everything with Statler pigment pens, and then I did start going over the top of stuff with polychromos at some point. I can't remember if it was with Lily or with these guys. And then I like the way that he turned out too. I think he was probably one of these two are just the easier of the animals. So and then for the little ribbon things, those are Prismacolor pencil, based with, again, Statler pigment pens. Pretty much everything was based with Statler pigment pens. So yeah, I don't feel deterred from this book. In fact, I am planning on doing a page in here for April. I joined a group that is working in this book, and so they have a page picked out for April. You can see that in my April plans video. But I'm gonna have to kind of adapt the way that I do the characters moving forward, which actually the April page doesn't even have any of the characters. So, but I will probably adapt the way that I do them moving forward. And I'm hoping just to kind of improve on the way that I color fur and stuff in her books so that hopefully I'm a little bit happier with future pages. Okay, the last couple pages I have to show you are part of my Monster March coloring challenge. So before I show you those, let's just do a quick reminder. I think by the time this video comes out, Monster March has closed. So I will just talk about what you can expect moving forward next week. So the following week from when this video comes out, I will be doing the draw. I guess you could call it a draw or random spinner or whatever. So hopefully either today or within the next couple days, I will post on Instagram my list that I've been keeping track of, how many entries everybody has and things like that. So make sure to look out on my Instagram for that if you participated, because that is the list that I'm going off of. So I'm posting it ahead of time in case I've missed anybody. I do get really busy, and so keeping track of all the posts versus everything else going on, it is very possible that I may have missed somebody. So look out on my Instagram if you participated to make sure your name is on the list. Then next week, I will release the video where I do the spinner and the winner will be announced. The winner will have 1 week to contact me, probably via email or Instagram, and so that we can work out how to get the gift card to them. Now, a couple questions that have come up for not only myself, but I think there was a couple of you that may have commented on a video or asked me on Instagram. Sometimes I can't keep things straight. What happens if someone from another country wins? So as far as I kind of researched it a little bit, and as far as I can tell, let's say someone from the UK wins. If you want to be able to purchase things with the Amazon gift card from Amazon UK, I will just need to purchase the gift card from Amazon UK. So like an Amazon US gift card can be used for Amazon US. A UK gift card can be used for UK. So I will just need to know like what general area you live in or what Amazon you purchase from, so that when I purchase the gift card to send to you, I can just change, hopefully, this is my hope, I'll just be able to change which Amazon I'm buying from and buy the gift card from whichever one you prefer. So, and then that usually gets sent via email. At least that's how it works for Amazon US. I'm hoping the others have the same process. So I don't see why they wouldn't. It seems pretty standard, but that is how that will work. So once the winner is announced, they will have 1 week to contact me, and then we will talk about which Amazon they would like the gift card from. So I'm not going to pre-purchase it just because of that reason. I don't want to buy an Amazon US gift card, have somebody from the UK win, and then them have to purchase from Amazon US and not be able to get their stuff or something like that. So, okay, I think that's everything on Monster March. So that video will be up next week. Keep an eye out for that. Winner will probably be announced on Instagram sometime, but I'm saying that you need to contact me a week from when the video on YouTube goes up. So, um, anyways, this is one of the pages that I did for Monster March. Sorry, this is from the Coloring Heaven Halloween special. This is last year's, I believe. And I did this page, Baddie Friends by Mystic Art Mirrors. I originally had planned to do a different page. It's by the same, this one. But when I got the book out and was getting ready to color, for some reason, this one was calling to me more. So I also wanted to try out these gel crayons. So that's what these little circles are. I think I may have been a little too heavy handed with them. They didn't give the effect I was expecting, but that's okay. And then my plan was to go in and do a base of ohuhus with pencil over the top, but then I just decided to just do the ohuhus. And then I did some glitter ohuhus over the top on some of the things like the wings and stuff like that. So kind of just rushed this page, did it super quick. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. It was kind of just like a fun, I feel like getting something done page. So I still like the way it turned out, but it's not going to be like my favorite page ever. And that's okay. So that is from the Coloring Heaven Halloween special. And then I did 2 pages from Creepy Kawaii Halloween. The first page that I did for Monster March was this one. This is the, I don't know, gargoyle dragon type creature. The background is Neocolor 2 activated with a Ohuhu blender marker. I heard Jess over at Coloring Bumblebee talk about that, and so I wanted to try that, and I think it worked well. I like the way that it looks completed. I didn't love the way that it looked without like the stars and stuff, which I just started using Neocolor 2s for a second time in a different book, but it's a much bigger space and I'm not going to be able to activate it with the blender marker. I'm going to have to use regular water, so we'll see how that goes. Kind of feel like it may be a disaster, but trying to keep the confidence high. Everything else again was based with ohuhus and then Prismacolor over the top, then lots and lots of jelly roll. So I covered up the majority of the black lines with jelly roll and did, all these little dots and stuff on him, which it does feel like a little bit of a front load, like a lot when you're first looking at the page, but I do like it overall. Again, it's not one of my favorite pages, but I'm happy with the way that this one turned out, actually. I think that I could have just done maybe a little less of the jump pen. Then the second page that I did in here, oh, and there is a little bit of acrylic marker as well on the moon and stuff, is this one. And this one I really, really like. This is another one of my favorites from the month. This was again based with Ohuhu alcohol marker, and there was some way different stuff going on in this prior to the way that it turned out. So I actually had yellow wallpaper and a yellow rug, and that was just my attempt to kind of bring in more of this yellow, but I did not like the way that that was looking at all, and I really wanted to go for kind of this space type galaxy effect. So I covered up the yellow wallpaper with black Posca just to kind of, make it more cohesive up here. And then I went over the yellow rug with purple instead. And actually the lamp was yellow too, and I decided to do that at Galaxy. And that's why this pink turned out a little bit different than on the quilt, is because this was going over yellow alcohol marker and this was based with purple, I believe. So yeah, really happy with the way that this one turned out. Super fun page to do. Even though there were some challenges at the beginning, this was one of those ones where it was like a page that I didn't think was going to turn out good, that I feel like the end result made it probably one of my favorite pages that maybe I've ever colored. So those are the 2 pages that I completed from Creepy Kawaii Halloween. Now I'm hoping that I will remember to sit here and take pictures of everything I may have time now as I'm finishing up. So I will enter my kind of rankings for the month. I didn't do that last month because I forgot to take pictures of everything, but I will try to remember to do that for this month. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and enjoyed seeing what I got up to this month. Make sure that you are subscribed, especially if you did participate in Monster March and want to know who the winner is of the gift card. I will be doing that next week. It will be announced first on YouTube, and then sometime around the time that you're watching this video, I will have released the list of all the entries. So make sure to go over to Instagram to check the list for the entries. And if you did participate, make sure that I have you on the list with the correct number of entries, because you can have up to 3 entries per person. So I just want to give a quick thanks before we jump into my rankings. Thank you everybody who participated in Monster March. I kind of a little bit at a loss for words because I always think that people won't want to participate in things, and I get nervous. Like, is this just going to kind of be a me thing? But I had lots of different people participate and lots of good, positive comments about how fun it was to get these books out at a different time of year. Lots of people were saying, like, even without a giveaway, it would have been fun. And so it's definitely something that I am planning to do again next year for those that are interested. But thank you to everybody who did participate. I really appreciate you. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. Okay, here are my rankings if you want to stick around. If not, I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.